Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Hardstone Media, where we use our superpower of hindsight to rewrite stories and hopefully improve them in the process. As you may know, there's a lot of people who enjoy rewriting stories, either due to them not liking what was delivered, or just as a creative outlet. Star Wars, being one of the most popular franchises of all time, receives a lot of this attention, especially the prequels. Now don't worry, I'm not going to focus on dissecting and rewriting George Lucas's prequels as many videos have. What I'm aiming to do in this video, and follow-up videos, is outline and discuss all the key elements that need to be included when rewriting the Star Wars prequels. This is based on how the original Star Wars trilogy described the galaxy before Episode 4, the major events that occurred, and those characters involved. This video series will look at three components. First, we'll look at the stage on which the story is set. What does the galaxy look like before the Dark Times? How is it different from the original trilogy? The second thing we'll look at is the story. What story points and facts need to be consistent? Can we keep the secrets of the original trilogy? And how do we create more history and depth to the story of the original trilogy? Then in the third part, we'll look at the characters. Which characters should and shouldn't be in the prequels? What do we know about them and their actions during this period? Well, enough of me blabbering on. Let's get into part one. The first way we learn about this stage, this galaxy far, far away, is from the opening titles and the crawl. This begins with the title of the movie. So Star Wars titles are used as a summary of the story. It's the main idea or event of the movie and often uses words that are specific to this galaxy. Originally the first movie's title was simply Star Wars, but that later became known as A New Hope. This title straight away gives us the impression we are in the middle of a conflict and that this new hope will change things. Next, The Empire Strikes Back clearly outlines the Empire, a central idea of Star Wars. Finally, we get to Return of the Jedi, again introducing the Jedi in the title, again another Star Wars specific concept. The prequel name should follow this same philosophy, focusing on the major events of the movie, written in an active voice, and it needs to feel like it's describing the story of this galaxy. When we look at the current prequels, they appear to mirror the original titles. The Phantom Menace is a change to the status quo, just like A New Hope. Attack of the Clones describes a violent confrontation, like The Empire Strikes Back. And Revenge of the Sith outlines a re-emergence of an old power, like Return of the Jedi. These titles appear to be designed to mirror the originals, almost like a rhyme, though the titles appear to be focused on the Sith and not the Rebellion. Keeping in line with this tradition is important, and Episode 1 is the most critical, as it will set the scene for the whole saga, and it is the point at which new viewers will start their journey. That famous opening line, "A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away." This sets the scene for each Star Wars movie well, taking you away to a foreign and mystical place. But what if we could add more meaning to this intro? Not just an introductory text, but a reminder of something more. This could be achieved with a quick exposition that outlines the galaxy, how the Republic came to be, the Force, the Jedi, the Sith, much like at the start of Lord of the Rings. This would add an extra layer to every movie. Seeing those words at the start of each movie would actually signify the exposition first seen in Episode 1, giving those famous words another layer of meaning. The opening crawl is a great piece of exposition. The opening crawl generally consists of three parts: the background describing where the story is currently at, the main plot of the movie, and the conflict or event that sets the movie into action. Episode 1, however, is the first introduction for new fans and needs to introduce us to the beginning of the conflict and the whole saga. The opening crawl for Episode 1 will need to be designed for people with no knowledge of Star Wars, but also describe our peaceful galaxy that's about to be turned upside down. Now looking at on-screen action, we'll look at how technology should be handled in the prequels. Firstly, there are certain rules of what can and can't be done, such as how we travel through the galaxy.
Traveling through hyperspace ain't like dusting crops, boy. Without precise calculations, we'd fly right through a star or tunnel too close to a supernova and then it'd end your trip real quick, wouldn't it?
We need to keep these rules throughout any Star Wars movie. Also, we need to ensure there is consistency in how technology looks and works. We need to ensure that technology isn't more advanced just because we have better CGI. We can, however, show technology from the originals that is new and not as worn down. One opportunity we have in the prequels is to show different types of aircraft, weapons and technology that we didn't see in the originals. By having starships, land vehicles and soldiers that are not as advanced and precursors to the Empire's war machine, we create a great contrast to the technology before and after the Empire. We also have the chance to show more non-military vehicles and technologies, things we didn't have a chance to see in the originals, expanding our understanding of the galaxy. When we look at the Rebels in the originals, we see them utilising second-hand equipment, which we expect from a Rebel force. In the prequels, we have the opportunity to introduce brand new X-Wings, Y-Wings, and all the Rebel ships straight off the production line. This allows us to see them in all their glory. It also creates the possibility of us showing where the Rebel Alliance began and how they acquired their military. Now looking at the Empire, they are the force that took over the galaxy. This means they need to make an entrance with their more powerful technology. And this technology should be shown to wipe away the opposition. This introduction, seeing the Empire blast onto the screen with all those aircrafts and vehicles we love from the originals, would really set up the power of the Empire for the next trilogy. Much like the Rebel starships mentioned before, this works both for nostalgia and also the overall story of the trilogy. The next part of the galaxy we're looking at are its planets. This is an opportunity to see the diversity of the galaxy and what we're fighting for. In the originals, there's only one planet that is specifically mentioned that we need to visit as part of the prequel story, and this planet is Tatooine. Tatooine is where Anakin begins his journey with Obi-Wan, and where he disagrees with Owen about getting involved in the Clone Wars, so it makes sense that we will visit Tatooine at least once. Another planet we would expect to see is Alderaan. This is because Obi-Wan is a general in Bail Organa's army, and Bail Organa will become the king of Alderaan. From this, we should expect to see Alderaan either as a staging point for a battle, or as part of a battle itself. Belated Media made a great point. Seeing the planet and the people of Alderaan will mean the destruction of the planet in Episode 4 will mean much more to the audience, enhancing their experience of the originals. Mustafar is another planet we would expect to see. The fiery planet where the final battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan occurs. Whilst never mentioned, this would be an important part of Anakin's personal story, injuries, and turn to the dark side. Coruscant is the final planet we'd expect to see. There is no specific reference to it in the originals, but as the capital of the Republic, it will be important to the story as to how the Republic functions and what the Senate is. When including other planets in the prequels, we should avoid using locations from the originals just for fan service. Each place we visit needs to have a purpose to the story or a meaning to the characters. So that's it for part 1. In part 2, I'll continue looking at the stage, including alien species, the dreaded politics of Star Wars, and a look at the Force, the Jedi, and the Sith. Thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep updated with new videos and support the channel, just subscribe. Cheers.